Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is your boy JayStylz. Hey, I want to give you guys a quick update for you new guys. If this is your first year in this transportation industry, DOT Roadside Blitz is coming up next week. It is 3 days. It happens every year. This year it's going to be June 4th through the 6th. Now, DOT is planning to inspect one truck every 5 minutes for those 3 days, June 4th through June 6th. Most of the inspections are a level 1 inspection. That's when your truck, your trailer, and your person will be inspected. So make sure your paperwork, truck and trailer, everything is all legit. The components they are focusing on this year is steering and suspension. That's going to be the main focus. But like I said, that does not mean that's the only thing that they're going to check. That's just going to be the main focus: steering and suspension. Your steering components include your steering shaft, pivot arm, the drag link, the steering arm, the tie rod. Your suspension system could be the airbags, the airbag mounts, the springs, the spring mounts, the shocks. Don't forget your cotter pins for your suspension, your steering knuckles on the suspension. You want to make sure all those are checked, especially your leaf springs. Make sure you're not missing any leaves. Make sure they're not cracked. Make sure there's not too much play in your steering rod and your steering shaft. Also, while you're down there, go ahead and check your brake system. Check that what is that called? Your slack adjusting push rod. Make sure there's not too much play on that push rod. If you have self-adjusting push rod, you won't too much have to worry about pulling on it. But if you don't have self-adjusting push rod, go ahead and pull on it. Make sure it's not traveling more than an inch. Check your belts. You shouldn't have no more than 3/4 inch play on that belt. We're talking about the alternator belt, the water pump belt. Just go ahead and push on it or even pull on it. Make sure it's no more than 3/4 inch play on it. Check for leaks. You got the obvious stuff. If you just stand in front of your vehicle, look on the ground up under the vehicle, check to see if there's any oil, coolant, or power steering leaks after the vehicle's been sitting for a while. Also, while you're standing in front of the building, you can check to see if you got suspension issues just by looking at your vehicle. It's a leaning to one side or the other, you know you got some suspension issue. Either your leaf springs is cracked, your shocks are out. What else? You could just have a flat tire. Check that stuff. The stuff I didn't mention is the most obvious. You don't want to pull up to a weigh scale. By the way, they'll be at your weigh scales. They're going to be at the rest areas. They're going to be at the truck stops. They even do random roadside stops right in the middle of 35, I-10, I-80, I-70. It doesn't matter. They will pull out a mobile scale for you to go up on the scale and get checked. Make sure you're not overweight. For those flatbed gang, you guys out there, they also checking load securement. Make sure that your load is tied down and is secured the proper way. Pull out that card or whatever it is, you guys. Make sure your weight is good. Make sure you got your proper permits. If you're oversized, overweight, check all that stuff. You do not want to get caught up on DOT Blitz, man. Remember, one truck every 5 minutes for those 3 days. I went somewhere, I changed my train of thought. I lost it. Maybe I'll pick back up on it. But remember, June 4th, June 6th, those 3 days, make sure you are ready. For those of you guys who are real new and you're just totally scared, go home for those 3 days. Stay off the road. They're going to be hitting heavy. It's a good chance you will be pulled in for a level 1 inspection. Some of the things that most people overlook, it's your medical card. You should always have your medical card in your truck with you or on your person. Make sure you got your medical card. Make sure you got your CDL with you. Make sure you have all your permits that you need, of course your insurance. What else? I'm sure I'm missing a lot of stuff. You guys that you've been doing your pre-trip every day, you should know this. This is part of your pre-trip, not just checking the truck, and make sure you got everything that you need to travel on this road. And if you get pulled in, all your paperwork is in order. 2018 roadside inspection, 47% of the drivers that were cited for hours of service. For those of you guys that's still on paper logs, I don't see why. Y'all know what's coming, man, the ELD mandate. Make sure your laws are straight. Even those that's already on the ELD, if you know your equipment was malfunctioned sometime in the past 30 days, make sure you got your paperwork in order to make sure everything match. Your logs will be checked. Also, along with your logs, if you are on ELD, make sure you got the cab card that's in reach that shows how to work your ELD. Everybody do not have the same Qualcomm or Omnitronics or whatever it is they're calling it now. So make sure you do have the instructions to give to the DOT officer on how to use your particular ELD. That's all I got for right now, guys. Stay safe, and I'll get back with you. This is JayStylz, man. Y'all take it easy.